This is a Flying Cow production.
Well, hello and welcome to the Flying Cow, our very first episode of what did we say we were calling this? Must-watch movies, I think is what we finally decided on.
That was the appropriate one we decided on.
Yeah. I, of course, am your host, the Flying Cow himself, Clay Johnson, and here with me is
Special
my co-host, Jack Allison. I can't think of what else to call you right now, Jack. I'm a little tired.
Yeah, I put like a little name icon on our little Streamlabs window. You could have gone with that. StreamYard window.
I'm good. I'm
You
good.
don't call me that?
No, right now, no.
Okay. Well, starting off real quick, just because we just started recording, personal question. Do you mind if I eat some chicken while we record?
Go for it.
Okay, thank you.
Just remember that people have to listen to us, so try not to chew directly into the microphone.
I mean, some people might be into that. We might be opening up our audience a little bit. You know, just get involved with us. So this movie is...
Oh, yeah. People love that. Mm-hmm.
Hey, if you like, comment, subscribe if you like chewing chicken on podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
We're tapping into a new demographic today.
And if you don't, well, we know why you're not listening. We'll just blame it all on that.
Maybe we should call it like the podcast like chewing on film or something like that. Film chew.
Yeah.
I like that one. Film chew.
Film chew.
Take a bite out of the classics.
Jeez. But yes, we are here. Obviously the podcast has not been putting out anything new for a while. I'm in a new situation, and kind of had to lay low for a little bit. Had to move, had to do all sorts of things. I am not in my regular situation right now, as I'm currently holding my microphone. So if I sound a little different, that is why. But I was going a little crazy. Wanted to. Mm-hmm.
So if I sound different, that's why.
Yes. But I just wanted to get back into podcasting and talking with friends about movies, and I pitched this idea to Jack, and we both seem to really like it, and I hope you guys do as well. So what we're going to be doing here, as often as we're able to record and or release, is Jack and I are basically going to take turns. We're going to go back and forth, suggesting movies for the other one to see. And I'm sure there's lots of people that have podcasts like this, so-and-so hasn't seen is what most of them are called. But in this, it's not necessarily, most of the times those are like, oh, we're going to suggest classic movies or movies we really love or things like that. Here's the thing. I knew the moment I suggested this to Jack that I was opening myself up to, let's just say, some interesting films. I mean, let's be honest. Jack is the person during our Academy of 94 who suggested that we all watch North.
Yes, I can't take credit for all mine being winners. I think I referenced like the Professor and the Madman in one of your podcast episodes one time. I think I'm like one of 12 people that have even heard of that movie, let alone seen it.
Yeah. So, I think, for the most part, we are going to try to suggest films for each other that, are good or that we enjoy, but occasionally.
And accessible.
And
accessible, hopefully.
Yes, hopefully.
It's like I'm not going to be like, hey, let's watch the day the clown cried. Okay.
Oh, no.
But of course, that does come out, I think, either this year or next year. Funnily enough, that may have to be an episode we consider.
Oh, because it's like so long after his death,
Yeah, I
right?
think it's like public domain or whatever like the terminology is for.
Wow.
Yeah, so maybe
Yeah.
that could be an episode. I don't know. Sorry,
I
got
wouldn't
us
be
off topic.
surprised if you suggest it.
Yeah.
Will not be surprised.
I'm gonna look that up.
L- just to give even more context, Jack is the type of person that once me and a group of friends were expecting him to show up for a trivia night that he had said he was going to come to.
Oh, God.
And he had not arrived yet. So somebody texted him saying, "Hey, are you on your way?" And instead of responding like a normal person, "Hey, I'm on my way. No, I'm late," something normal, he just transcribes a random Wikipedia page and sends it to us. I don't even remember what it was.
See,
But
I don't
that
remember
is
this
Jack.
at all, but I know absolutely 100% that this is a true story.
Oh, yes, of course it is. Of course it's a true story, because anything that doesn't sound like a true story about Jack is 100% factual.
You sure it was like a Wikipedia page, not like a Roger Ebert review of something, or like something like way back?
No, it was some random Wikipedia page, because I
Okay.
think you sent like it was either like a link or a screenshot, but you sent it to Emily and she was not happy.
Well, that's never mind. No comment on that one. Yeah, no, I literally sent a buddy of mine like a couple weeks ago, just like the Roger Ebert's review of Agent Cody Banks. So I still want to confuse him.
Yeah,
He still
on the
hasn't responded
timeline.
to it either.
Yeah. Well, I mean, of all the films, Agent Cody Banks, come
Well,
on.
it's not to be too grim, but like I recently had a family member pass away, and he reached out to me via text, like sending his condolences, and it
Right.
was in response. Well, that was the previous message that had been sent to our conversation. So him being like, the idea of like him being like, okay, yeah, let me go ahead and text Jack my condolences. Oh yeah,
Agent Cody Banks. Yeah. Oh.
so yeah, that's what we're dealing with today, folks.
Yeah. So
The plan was like,
you know,
I should do a podcast with this person.
yeah, this is gonna be a good idea,
What could
right?
possibly go wrong?
But you know, I thought it might be fun before we get into talking about any movies, just to kind of, you know, throw around some of our own, you know, thoughts on films or our own taste or things like that by asking just a couple of random questions, and also kind of to seed the field with things that each of us have not seen, that maybe we would like to, things that might come up at some point. So I think I threw this out during our pre-podcast chat, but let's start with directors. So is there a director, Jack, whose films you have not seen as much as you would like?
Ooh, that's a great question, because I got to be careful with that one, because I think, okay, I haven't seen much of this director, but then like there's like a bunch of weird things that I wouldn't associate with their style that I know of that
Sure.
come to mind.
Yeah.
Let me Google somebody really quickly. Is there someone that comes to mind for you?
Well, here's the thing, and you know, I didn't really talk about this earlier, but you know, our rules for, you know, what we can throw at each other are films that either you or myself have not seen, or, and you know, we want to stay within that for the most part, but it can be something that we think is really good, notoriously, something that we just really enjoy, or something that we just think we'll have a good conversation about. And so for me, I mean, there's a lot of directors that actually fit in this, but a director whose films are kind of hit or miss, but I think most of them would make interesting conversations, and I haven't seen a lot of the more notoriously bad ones, are M. Night Shyamalan. Because all, you know, the first like 4 or maybe even 5 of his films I actually really enjoyed. it wasn't until The Happening that I fell off and really had a hard time connecting with. And I really didn't see a film of his again until Split.
Mm.
And I know, I mean, the thing about him is that he always takes big swings. Sometimes they land, sometimes they don't. But honestly, one of the things that I admired about him the most from his earlier films is that he would do things that I didn't see any other directors do. So, I mean, you know, delving into some more of his filmography might be interesting.
Yeah, I'm just thinking back. I recently saw his newest film, Trap, and
I haven't
I
seen
was-
that one yet.
I would still say that there's still things that he does in that movie that had me thinking from my living room, like, wow, I've never seen a director do that before. But it wasn't
Sure.
entirely a compliment when I was thinking that to myself.
I was that's the thing. Sometimes it lands. Sometimes it's like, I've never seen a director do that before. Why did you do it that way?
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of movies I could think of where it's like, yeah, the director hasn't done this before, and I agree with you. Like, there's a lot of his earlier films where I've rewatched a couple kind of semi recently, and I think, okay, this one still holds up. This one does not.
Sure.
This one's better than I thought it would be. This one's worse.
I mean, it's been years since I've watched it, but
Yeah.
my favorite of his that I remember is Unbreakable. And
Yep.
the thing that I appreciate the most is his odd choice of shots in that. Like there are entire scenes that are shot between two chairs and through a television screen and all sorts of different, like, really interesting shot choices in that one.
Yeah. Yeah, no, if nothing else, I can guarantee you, if we decided to do any or even several of his films, I can guarantee you I will have plenty to contribute, because some of his movies have made me, there's one in particular of his films that has made me just mad, like really, really upset, mad.
Okay. Which one was that?
Well, if I say it, I feel like we're setting ourselves up to watch it, and I don't know if I could do that again.
Well,
let's
I
just
mean,
say-
if we've both seen it,
Yeah.
then unless we just really think it's a good conversation, we're not going to do it.
I mean, okay, in that case, all I'll say, it rhymes with ass.
Oh, see, I actually haven't seen that one. Okay.
Well,
Yeah, no.
you said you
And
liked...
I was really excited about it until everybody started watching it and saying that it wasn't very good.
without saying too much on it, like, you said you liked Unbreakable, right?
Yeah.
I have never seen a more unceremonious sequel to a film in all my life.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
anyway.
That's unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, if we do any Shyamalan movies, whether by suggestion of audience or just our own idea, then I can guarantee we'll have plenty to talk about, whether it be for good or ill.
Yeah, I mean, and that often is the main reason to do a podcast, is because you have something to talk about.
Honestly, for me, I was looking over some stuff while you were discussing Shyamalan, and honestly, two directors come up to mind that, like, I haven't seen a lot of their work that I've wanted to, just more like legacy directors. The first one that comes to mind is Peter Bogdanovich.
Okay.
I've seen one of his films, but I see his name thrown around so much that I feel like I need to explore more of his work.
Okay, well, then that leads me to a question, because one of his films is actually one of my favorite films. Have you ever seen What's Up, Doc?
No.
Okay, we'll have to visit that at some point.
Cool. Yeah, no, I'm game.
Yeah.
The other director that comes to mind, and honestly, this feels kind of like a cheat just because they have so many movies they've directed, but I was going to say John Ford.
I mean, yeah, that's a very extensive catalog.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely haven't seen a good number of his films either, but you know, he also has directed some of, like, I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just saying, I think City Girl was when we watched for the Academy before. That was one of his, if I'm not mistaken.
You should say City Girl?
Yeah, did he not direct that one? I may be wrong.
I think that was Murnau.
Oh, okay.
I mean, he might have a film called City Girl, but I don't think it's the.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. That is
1930
Murnau.
film.
Wow, I feel like we
Yeah.
watched something on the Academy with that year by John Ford, but I may be completely mistaken.
Might it have been the was the John Wayne movie his?
Maybe the Big Trail. That may have been
The Big Trail.
Yeah, maybe that's one. That makes more sense. No, that's Raoul Walsh.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know that we did do anything by him that year.
Okay, maybe I'm mistaken. I feel like we watched something together. Okay,
Yeah.
then yeah, I'm totally game.
But
to
I mean,
pick up some of him.
yeah, I mean, it's bringing up definitely some classic films. But okay, so directors aside, there's going to be a lot of different directors that we'll be diving into and things like that. But what about character actors specifically? I'm not talking about lead actors like your Tom Cruise and things like that, but like your character actors that